Did you know there's a battle with Professor Oak programmed into the original Pokemon games? For whatever reason, the battle was never implemented in the final version of the games, but can still be triggered by GameShark codes or glitching. His team is a Tauros, an Exeggutor, an Arcanine, a Gyarados, and whichever Pokemon you or your rival never chose, but fully evolved. The Pokemon are quite powerful, one of them even reaching level 70. Because of this, it seems the battle was intended to come near the very end of the game, possibly even after the Indigo Plateau battle with your rival. Speaking of hidden code, there's an anti-piracy message in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Talking to the attendant outside the Sea Gallop Ferry on an emulator or pirated cartridge will cause him to say, "By the way, if you like this game, buy it, or die." Some users over at Bulbapedia found that it's definitely in the code of some of the dumped ROMs, but since all modern Game Boy Advance emulators have been updated over time to play games flawlessly, as if they were on the device itself, the only way to test this would be to find a build of the emulator that was circulated before the date of the ROM's release online. In Pokemon Red, Green, and Blue, there were originally going to be 190 Pokemon and not 151. 39 of them were cut out and later used in Gold and Silver. By checking certain values in the game's code, you can see the order in which the Pokemon were entered into the games. Ken Sugimori, the game's character designer, confirmed that Rhydon was the first Pokemon designed, and since Rhydon was entered into the game first, it would make sense that these entry orders are similar to the order in which the Pokemon were originally created. Victory Bell is last on the list, which would suggest that all 190 Pokemon were designed before the original games were completed. Here's an interesting theory. Mew and Ditto are both genderless, they both weigh 8.8 pounds, both of their base stats are level across the board, and they share almost identical colors. They're the only two Pokemon who learn Transform naturally, and Dittos can be found in the same cave as Mewtwo, becoming more common the closer you get to him. Dittos can also be found in the Pokemon Mansion on Cinnabar Island, where it's said experiments on Mew took place. These connections seem to suggest that Dittos are actually failed attempts at cloning Mew. In the pilot episode of the anime, Clefairy was intended to be Ash's starting Pokemon, but Pikachu was chosen instead in order to appeal to younger female readers and their mothers. Pikachu's popularity led to it being the mascot for the entire franchise, eventually leading to several Pikachu-themed games, including Pokemon Yellow. And while we're on the subject of Pikachu, here's one last tidbit. In Hey You Pikachu for the Nintendo 64, if you say PlayStation, Pikachu will get angry. That's all for today, but we'll be back with more Did You Know Gaming soon. So make sure you subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check out more gaming trivia at didyouknowgaming.com. Some users over at Bulbapedia found that it's definitely in my butt. It's definitely in there. Definitely. Fucking slip-ups, man.